Hey guys, it's Sash, and today I have a very special guest with me. I have the #1 Brawl Stars player in the world with me. I have OG. He not only hit #1 in the world last season, but also broke the all-time trophy record with over 22,000 trophies pushed. What's up, OG? How are you, bro?
Hey Ash, thanks for having me on. I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Awesome. Not, I've been chilling. I know you've been grinding like crazy. Have you had enough sleep lately?
It's gonna take me a few days to catch up completely, but I'm working on it.
Awesome. What would you say like your average, play time per day was to get yourself to the top? Because I know it was such a crazy battle against One Sick. I actually had One Sick in my channel last week, who hit not only the record but also was #1 for a while, and you just overtook him like no one. You came out of nowhere and just overtook him. How did that feel?
It was pretty good. I knew from the beginning it was gonna be close, just like how he was pushing his brawlers and how I was pushing mine.
Right.
So it was the longer the season went on, I'd gain more cups on him. Really
Did you
good.
think that you were gonna surpass him, or was that was that your intention to pass him, or was it to just get as high as possible?
When I saw how hard he was pushing, I was pretty certain at first.
Uh-huh.
But I did come into the season with the intention to get #1 overall.
Awesome.
So I think there was 2 siege days that I really took advantage of.
Right.
One of them I played for probably 16, 17 hours, which is insane. Just don't do that at home. But in that one day, I think I lost 5 games. So that one I pushed an insane amount.
That is crazy. So the entire day you were pushing at least 16 hours and you only lost 5 games. Is that what you're saying? Oh my god.
Yeah,
that
I
is ridiculous.
I streamed 6 hours of it, and we got one loss on stream.
Right. So if you guys don't know, OG also streams on Twitch. He also has his own YouTube account, and he uploads some really strategic, high-level content. So I'm gonna give you guys the link to that in the description below. Make sure to subscribe to him, of course. Also follow him on Twitch.
Thank you.
So OG, tell us a little about yourself. You're from Canada, right? A lot of people don't know that for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a pretty original beta player. I've been playing since the game came out.
How long have you been playing for?
So coming up on 2 years now. 2 years in June. Yeah,
almost 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, start to finish. I'm gonna be with Brawl Stars as long as it's out there.
That's awesome. It's awesome because when I started first playing Brawl Stars, right, and I never got into competitive Brawl Stars, not until later on, about 10 months ago. I've been playing also around the same time as you have, when Brawl Stars first started soft launch.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I always looked up to you as one of those players, one of the greats. Whenever I think of the best Brawl Stars players in the world, your name is always up there for me.
Thanks, man. Too kind.
No problem. So would you say this was the hardest challenge you've ever done in any game?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've had #1 pushes before, but
right. I remember a while ago you had 17,000 trophies, and this was before we had all these new brawlers. We had 20 brawlers that time, and we also didn't have siege, so you couldn't get double the cups. So that was another ridiculously difficult challenge for you as well, right? Would you say the challenge that you had the previous season, where you hit over 22,000 trophies, was that harder than the season that you pushed 17,000 a while ago?
I definitely had to put more into this season. I think the 17K season was a little more frustrating just because there wasn't regional servers then. So I had shot delay a lot of those games.
Right, that's true, yeah.
Yeah. This season was frustrating in the sense that we do share leaderboards, and I couldn't really play against
and
One
of
Sick
course
that much.
of course you had a ridiculously difficult matchup too against One Sick, who already had a big lead coming into the season, so you had to overtake him by grinding a lot more and just winning a lot more consistently, right?
Yeah, I mean, I tried not to focus too much on him because ultimately I couldn't impact that at all.
Right.
So I just set my goals, and then I ended up surpassing them with a few days left. So I'm like, you know what, like let's finish strong.
That's awesome.
That number
like I remember like posting a tweet about this like a week ago about 1-6, hitting number one and having like such a substantial lead against you, like almost like 1,000 trophies, and no one thought it was possible for you to like surpass him, and here we are. You done it. Like I didn't even think. I was like, there's no way. I was because I knew 1-6 wasn't gonna slow down. I was talking to him, so I was like, yo, are you gonna slow down or anything? He's like, nah, man, I want number one. I want number one. And here we are. It's crazy.
I just had a few good siege days, like the last couple of days. Like I said, there was that one day where I lost like 5-6 times. There was another one where I probably lost like 8-9 times.
That's insane. So, would you say Siege currently is like your favorite game mode, or it's just the game mode you prefer to push in because of the trophy reward?
I'm so sick of Siege. I
figured, right? Because at the top, I feel like it's kind of broken. It's like a kind of a broken system because you have to push Siege if you want to take advantage of like the efficiency of it. Having to because at the top, a lot of players don't know is you have such a long search time. Like every game takes you like at least 5 minutes just to find, right?
Yeah, I ended up timing it, and like the last few days, it was 7 minutes to find a game.
That is ridiculous. So the average game for you, like it takes OG guys. It takes OG to search for a game like almost three times or more than 3 times as long as a normal game, right? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
So like, what about tilts? Have you ever tilted though? Because I know a lot of players in this game, when they get on a tilt, they just get really frustrated, and it keeps them from like pushing forward, like moving forward. What's your best advice on that? Like, have you ever experienced that?
Oh, definitely. I think whenever you push a lot, it's inevitable that at some point you're gonna tilt.
Right.
So my stance was like try not to force it too much. So whenever I started tilting, I take my dog for a walk. So there were a few days where he got a lot of exercise.
Because it can definitely emotionally like affect you. A lot of people don't know is that when you get on the tilt, oftentimes it's because like you're frustrated. So you're not playing at your best because you're not like mentally at your best, right? So it's always important to take like that break, right? Like a 30-minute break or something, right? Do something fun.
Yeah, so I just like take some time off, like go outside, like recollect a little bit, and then just pick it up in like 30 minutes. I mean, sometimes you just like need to like restart, kind of like get
Definitely,
a new team.
I agree with that too. Like as a competitive player myself, whenever like when I used to push at high cups in Clash Royale, or even do all these grand challenges and all this stuff, and then of course Brawl Stars, I've been number one a couple times before. And I went through this whole process as well. Like it's so frustrating getting on that tilt. A break helps so much. And like, what about teammates? Like, do you play with players who you normally play with, or do you play with like anyone? Like, what is your preference for that?
So I have like a pretty small group of friends typically, but say like 80% of my games were played with like the same like 6 to 8 people.
Right.
Obviously, if it's like late at night,
right? Because the consistent, you gotta play with those who you're having success with, right?
Yeah, people that you trust, like how they play, etc. What brawlers are good at. So you gotta like choose it based off that.
Especially because chemistry is just so important. Knowing what your teammates are. Like it's not just about you being a great player, but it's also you knowing the tendency of your teammates, what they are capable of, what they are gonna do, and knowing that, it makes your game easier. Would you say that to be true?
Yeah, I mean, I've played like competitively with like half the people that I've played with consistently, so I feel like that was a huge asset.
Right.
I just got lucky that they were like always like there pretty much whenever I needed to push.
Right. That's also really important. But what about like days when like you're playing at like 3 a.m., right? 3 a.m. and like how are you able to find teammates to play with?
Yeah, I mean, in that case, I have to be a little less picky. But
Right.
luckily, like my buddy Keith, he has an insane sleep schedule, so like I play with Keith, and like I'm over 9,000.
I see Keith streaming on Twitch at like really
Oh,
regular
yeah.
hours. I'm like, oh yo, how are you still on? I just woke up.
Yeah. So on those late siege nights, like
shout out to
definitely
Keith too, another Brawl Stars OG.
Oh, Keith and 9K like definitely helped me out at the nights like an insane amount.
Awesome. So like if someone is like aspiring to go pro in this game, like what is like one advice you would give them? Like one really like important thing that you would advise them on?
I mean, because the scene's like still really young, so I tried finding like a group of players, like a team, that you're like really comfortable, confident in playing with, that you have good chemistry with, and there's a lot of like tournaments that are open to enter. So just even if they're not huge, just like
especially because, like you said, the scene, right, the competitive scene is still pretty new. Like the game just went global a few months ago. Like you have so much opportunity. If you're like a player who just started playing a few months ago, you have so much opportunity to get there to the top and build your way there, right? It's probably like the perfect time to go pro right now, especially because there's so many Brawl Stars esports coming up. It's gonna be crazy.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited for the future of Brawl Stars.
Awesome. So what are your like overall like thoughts about Siege in terms of like how it's shaping up the competitive scene in like for trophy pushing? Because obviously you get like, you know, double the reward, and you obviously don't have to search like 2 games if you can just do 1 game on Siege, right? So what are your like opinions on that? Do you think, you know, Siege needs to reward less for like, you know, higher trophy players, something like that? Because I feel like there needs to be a balance since everyone is just playing Siege rather than the other modes.
Yeah, I don't really like it because I mean, I like the game mode, don't get me wrong.
Right.
I'm a fan of the game mode. I think it needs like a little tweaking with like some of the RNG and stuff, and it feels like really control-y, but I think that could be just the meta too. But ladder-wise, I think it's really broken. It kind of like, I basically didn't have to touch 3 game modes entire season because Siege and Brawl Ball.
I'm pretty sure like you've never played like Bounty, right?
I played Bounty for a little bit just to push my pipe 900.
Right? Okay.
But like Siege is just so broken. I don't think there should be like a game mode that everyone has to play if they want to push.
Right.
I think like the beauty of Brawl Stars is there's like all these different game modes that you can play, and I think it should be like
and like you said, you got like tired of Siege, like playing it so much, you're like sick of it, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like
I didn't even enjoy it at that point. It was just like forcing myself to play it because finish first.
But you're probably like a Siege god right now, playing it so much at the top. Like you're probably like the most, you know, knowledgeable Siege player ever, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely a Siege veteran.
Right.
So it's a sick game, but I like it.
Right. So like, what do you think of like the current meta? Do you think it's a really balanced meta? Do you think there's a certain brawler that's too OP, or do you think, you know, there's a certain brawler that needs a buff?
In general or in Siege?
In general, I mean.
In general, I think it's too reliant on spawners. I think it should be more like things that you can control. Because I'm not really like, I've gotten my Jessie to like 1,000 trophies before, and the main like reason, I mean, your main objective with Jessie is to basically keep your turret alive as long as possible, and just
a lot of that. So you think the meta is a bit too favorable for spawners, like just you need Pam, right? Control brawlers.
Yeah. Yeah, it just kind of ruins like the viability of a lot of brawlers. I feel. So I'm not like
especially Crow. It's like his worst nightmare. All these spawners.
Yeah.
Right. This is exactly why we can't have Crow shine in the meta. It's not because he's a bad brawler. It's because the meta just won't allow it. Right. Yeah, definitely.
I like have a lot of like Crow. It's just like tough to do it in this current meta. So
right.
I think they definitely need to rework or nerf a few of those brawlers.
What about Carl? He was just released a couple of days ago. What are your thoughts on Carl?
I think he's really fun.
I
like how he's not like very auto aim spammy. He has like
high
cool
skill cap.
Yeah. I think you can do some cool plays with him, but all that, he's like pretty underwhelming right now. When I first started playing with him, I did like Showdown like everyone always does, and I'm like, oh my god, like this brawler's sick. And then I realized that I was a level 10 Carl playing against like level 4 brawlers.
Right. Yeah.
So then I like took like competitive like 3v3 mode, and I'm like, what the? Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happened to me too. Like at first, I was like, okay, I was just winning every game on with Carl on Showdown. I'm like, yeah, doing so great. This is fun. And then I get to like try him out on like 3v3 or try him out at higher trophy Showdown. I'm like, bro, I can't hit a single shot for some reason. Like, what is going on?
It's like really bad. His shot moves in like slow motion sometimes.
Right, and I was doing it without his star power too. I couldn't get his star power. Oh my goodness.
With that star power, but I was watching your stream and it's like it literally gives them like 2 seconds to die.
Like the funny thing was like I was winning like most of my games and I was moving up in trophies, but I was complaining like the whole time about him. Like it was just frustrating. Like like I felt like I was winning because of my decision making rather than me like dominating with Carl.
I think he has like a lot of potential, and like he's definitely a brawler that I enjoy using. It's
like the concept of him is so fun. Like a brawler that spins around and can go real fast, and just juke. And
I think if they
as well, I think just if they can just buff him just a bit, more in tone with the meta. The meta is also not very like kind to him either. Like you said, spawner meta, very control-y. He doesn't really deal that much damage to like a turret or a bear, right? They can all push him back easily.
Yeah, but no, it's for a brawler. I really
I do think spawners are pretty strong. Like if I'm playing with like a bunch of players who aren't that great, right? And if I tell them, yo, just run the Nita, just run the Jessie,
go Nita,
right? The go Nita strategy, right? It works. Yeah. It works. Like it's so
That's
easy.
the thing. Like all the spawners, you can argue about Jessie are like pretty auto aiming,
right?
Like Pam, even Penny, like her shot's so wide now. Like
like a while ago, we used to joke about Penny too. Like in certain modes, like Bounty, all you gotta do is like have this player just drop his mortar, and it's like the mortar is doing most of the work for him, right? It's like he's not even doing anything with Penny. But yeah, definitely, I feel like we need to, like the dev team, they need to try and like, I don't know. I feel like the brawlers that have the higher skill caps, brawlers such as Bo, Dynamite, I feel like those type of brawlers should shine more at the top, at competitive level, right?
Whereas, I think Bo's in a good place right now. It's just that Pam's like overwhelming. Mike's a little underwhelming just because Barley's so strong right now. So everyone picks him because he's easy to use. But I mean, a good Mike will like still shine, just depending on the comp they play against.
Right.
Yeah, I really agree with you.
All right, guys. So that's gonna do it. I hope OG has enlightened you guys with a lot of these really great tips, as well as his knowledge of the meta and the game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. So yeah, OG, thank you so much, bro.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Right, it was definitely a pleasure having you here. Well, I would say more of like an honor having you here. One of the best Brawl Stars player ever, guys. Just hit 22,000, of course. Absolutely ridiculous. feet right there. So yeah, thank you so much. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys again soon. Later.